Hey, welcome back to Music Files. Today we're going to check out this new band, Heilung. It was actually suggested by an old acquaintance of ours. Um, but anyways, it's supposed to be it's a folk band. Again, another folk song. I'm looking forward to it. I was looking at the thumbnail and I don't know if it was like cosplay or something, but they were all dressed up. They were going all out. So
All right, so is it folk rock, folk metal, folk what? Just folk?
I have no idea. I know that it's folk.
You know the name of the song, and this is
Yeah,
what we're
because
getting into?
because when we were talking, I was saying, we were in the middle of an editing one because I mentioned how we were, doing a music channel video reaction, whatever. But we were doing kind of the rock spectrum. We were discovering new folk, different bands and such, and she suggested Heilung, saying that it was a folk band. So I know nothing of Heilung.
Well, I don't really know your friend that well, but the one or two times that I have seen her gives me the impression this is probably going to be good if she likes it. Is this just something she knows of, or something she listens to?
No idea.
Okay.
It was just a quick
suggestion.
mention.
She's okay.
Yep.
Well, let's get
yeah, we're doing Heilung. She didn't really give us a specific one to look at, but we're gonna check out Krigsgaldr, the live version. I figured, we do a live version this time since we haven't done a live version for a while. So, but anyways, yeah, let's get started. Stupid ads.
I don't think this is cosplay. This is druid stuff. Looks like. I mean, this is really some old ancient folk.
Yeah, they look like they're serious.
He's even got the hairstyle of the old Viking raiders. Yeah, this looks like relating to the Vikings. Yeah, look at the symbol right there. I don't know why they would have that. But I saw it. A little bit of a slow build up. We're getting to something, I think.
Really cool how they're able to use all these instruments.
What?
It's really cool how they're able to use all these interesting instruments. Make it sound so good like this.
Looks like they cut another. Historical representation of this. And a female would be wearing the male antlers of a male reindeer. Maybe they didn't look at the gender, just the strength. Regardless.
What am I supposed to do if I want to talk about peace and understanding? But you only understand the language of the soul. What if I want to make you understand that the path you chose leads to downfall? But you only understand the language of the soul. What if I want to tell you to leave me and my beloved ones in peace? But you only understand the language of the soul. I let the play hear the talking, so my tongue shall become iron. My words don't make you roar a war, revealing my divine anger's arrows shall strike all action for the good of all. See my reflection in your eyes. New age has just begun. Sword is soft. The fire of the furnace. It hungers to be hit and wants to have 100 sisters. In the coldest state of their existence. They may dance the maddest in the morass of the red rain. Beloved brother, enemy, I sing my soul song for you. The lullaby of obliteration. So I can wake up with a smile. Bliss in my heart and bliss in my heart. Bliss in my heart. Coexistence, conflict, compact. Devastation, regeneration, transformation. That is the best I can do for you.
That was an interesting transformation there. I have to say, in the beginning there, it kind of sounded like smoothing and sort of meditation-like. And then, I don't know what happened here, but I was trying to depict what he was trying to say and all that, but I wasn't able to really grasp it. But yeah, now
some
it's
of it I missed, but it sounds basically
something's going on.
Leave me alone, or this is what comes to you.
Yeah, but yeah, now it's like complete different transition. Good
All right.
I liked it. It's a bit different from, what we've been listening to here lately, but I actually really like it. I kind of liked how they had those two different transitions. It had a transition of sort of peace going on at first, and then some type of vicious thing happened.
What
I
are they
don't
called?
know. Heilung. Heilung, I think.
Okay, Heilung. It comes up. And what was the name of that song? Klarsberg or something?
Kriz. Here, type in Kriz.
There we go.
Yeah, there. Krigsgaldr.
Lyrics. That's what I want to see. Oh, well.
Yeah, that's.
You only understand the language of the sword.
I think this is going to take more than just a few seconds to sort of interpret.
I know, I just want to know what the language is.
Heilung is an experimental folk music band. Denmark, Norway, and Germany.
Heating. Okay. Okay, so then there's probably some kind of, I don't know how ancient that language would be, if they even knew it. There's no real record of it, so that's interesting. Just what we thought.
No, but yeah, what I was saying before, it had that transition of peace, and then that little sort of spite that was going on, and then it sort of like transgressed into kind of like this more fierce sort of sound, but then it transferred back into that sort of peaceful stage.
They're
That's what I
basically-
liked. I like how songs do that.
It seems, like a warning. Look, we're peaceful people, basically. Look, we're peaceful. We know the ways of peace, and peace is better for you than living by the sword. 'Cause living by the sword, I guess you just die, and it brings destruction and everything else, and they just want peace for all peoples. But if you bring that sword my way, you're going to get your butt kicked. It would be a bad mistake. And the transition of the song seemed to go with the music. That peaceful part, we're talking about peace and love and good, and then the warning came with the rougher part.
Yeah.
Left off. So that's pretty neat. That's very interesting. I mean, the music's okay, but it's historically, I wonder how accurate they are.
I don't know.
They seem very accurate.
Yeah.
And they probably, I mean, as a whole, most of the tribes back then were generally, I mean, different languages and stuff like that, and they all kind of, in an area, had some similar customs and probably dressed in similar ways, but they also had their significant differences, so that you could tell the difference between the tribes. But and I think that you kind of saw some of that on the stage, which is kind of neat, I mean, it all looks the same, but there's some subtle differences within that they were probably just trying to piece together. You know, because, you know, tribes back then weren't united. I mean, you just read the you know, just totally went blank. The writings of Caesar, when he was conquering the Gauls and stuff like that, you can tell, yeah, they were all Gauls, and the Germanic tribe, of course, was a thing of their own, but even within the Germanic tribes, they were separate tribes, and they all had their significant differences. Much like the native Indians. In America, you know, there's hundreds of different tribes, and many of them were similar in a lot of their ways, but they also had their significant differences. But, you know, I think that's really interesting. I want to hear more of them.
Yeah, I really like.
I like
how they were
history,
able
and
to-
you can learn a lot from the words. Are these actual real songs, though, from ancient times that were preserved? And if so, that's amazing, because the Christians did their damnedest to stamp anything out. They would go through and destroy and destroy and destroy. In fact, and they were forceful about it. I mean, people talked about how the Muslims went through in the 700 ADs, you know, conquering by the sword, right? How Muhammad did that. Well, the Christians did it too. You know, they went through and conquered. I mean, the Danes became Christian. The Danish king became Christian. What was the year, and who was in the battle? Anyways, there was a stalemate between the Danish king fighting over England, or parts of England, and an Anglo-Saxon king fighting them, and they were pretty much at a stalemate of battle. And part of the peace terms of, you know, ending the battle and making the truce was the Danish king had to become Christian. You know, and a lot of Christianity was forced by the sword. Some by choice, some by sword. And when they did do that, everything else became pagan and evil, hence the goat heads and the reindeer things. It all looks kind of dark and evil because, you know, through Christianity, you kind of been raised and made it think that. They did their best to stamp any of that out. It's kind of funny because I was sitting there watching that, and I'm sitting there thinking, and I'm looking at the, you know, the girl singer, and you look at some of the depictions of the quote-unquote witches back then that they would hang and float and try to kill. And it looked like they weren't really witches in the sense
Witch
of...
doctors.
Yeah, flying on a broom and
doctors.
stuff like that. It looked like it was just people still hanging on to their old traditions from long ago that Christianity hadn't fully stamped out. And it was just the process of stamping out the evil, the pagan ways. You know?
Those instruments are very interesting, very you know, authentic and going back to those days.
Well, it would make sense. I mean, that's how
it
they
does
made
make
their
sense.
engines.
Yes.
Bones and stuff like that. I mean,
No,
it's, you know,
it
they
does
didn't
make sense,
plastic.
but well, yeah, I know. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that. I'm saying how it's cool how they can actually.
I
do
don't know
that.
if the bones are real bones, though.
I don't think that they're real bones either. I mean, they could be. I don't know. It doesn't
didn't
matter.
look
But
it.
but I mean, just still, you able to just make an instrument out of it and make. I don't know how they were able to make this sort of like ring sort of charm sound, but did you notice that sort of?
Yeah, I don't
It's
think
hard
they...
to explain unless you.
They
actually
may have
heard
been
the
able
part.
to. I mean, it's if this was from like the Iron Age and the Bronze Age and stuff, you know, they could have worked some metal into some little tubes. I mean, they were great metalists, you know, especially from some of the artifacts that they found at the time. I mean, you got to understand the Roman Empire. I mean, metal, you know, working with metal has been around forever. And I'm sure, you know, just from the cultural crossings from the Roman Empire and stuff like that, people, and even on their own, you know, people learned how to work with metal. I mean, they made swords. Why not little trinkets? They made jewelry. Why not instruments? So, yeah, makes sense. Of course. Anyways, I like that. That was a good band.
Yes. Thank you for suggesting that. I think I'd want to see another.
Yeah, we can do another video. I wanna
Do
see
another
video.
live version.
Of
That's
course.
very
I
cool.
think that's probably the best. I like the historical representation, get you in a mood for it. Well, that's it. Till next time.
Until next time. All right.
GoPro, stop recording.